The rain wasn't just hitting my windshield, it was trying to shatter it. Each drop felt like an accusation. My phone glowed in the dark garage. 27 missed calls. 2 days. That's all it took for my entire career to implode. My name is David Carson. I'm 48. For 7 years, I built the logistics department at Apex Solutions, from rubble into a well-oiled machine. And 2 days ago, my boss, Robert Hayes, looked me in the eye and told me I wasn't the right fit for the promotion I'd earned. The phone buzzed again in my hand. The screen lit up. Helen Pierce, Regional VP. They weren't calling because they missed me. The machine was breaking down, and I was the only one with the tools to fix it. But I wasn't going to answer. 2 days earlier, I sat across from Robert, my future laid out in a sleek presentation. 40% efficiency gain, 55% fewer errors. The Stonewall Enterprises account worth millions, stable because of my work. Robert didn't even look at the numbers. He pushed the folder back. David, your work is thorough, he began, his tone dismissive. But we're pivoting. We need fresh, dynamic leadership. My nephew, Brandon, joins us as Senior Logistics Manager on Monday. The title echoed in the silent, sterile office. My title. I see, I said, my voice dangerously calm. And my role? You'll be his mentor. Get him up to speed. He smiled, a thin, bloodless thing. Maybe prepare some materials over the weekend. The audacity of it was a physical blow. 7 years of missed dinners with my daughter, Chloe. 7 years of being the invisible man who kept the lights on. And he wanted me to give my weekend to train my unqualified replacement? I stood, my chair scraping loud in the quiet. I understand perfectly. I walked out, but not to my desk. I went straight to the garage, the seed of a dangerous idea taking root. The first day of the new regime, 9 a.m. on the dot. No 7 a.m. briefing prep for Robert. My work phone, permanently silenced, sat in my desk drawer. By 10:15 a.m., the first thread pulled loose. Janet from accounting was at my desk, her face a mask of confusion. David, the Stonewall shipping manifest is conflicting with the new customs codes. Can you do your thing? I gave her a polite, distant smile. That's a coding issue for the IT and shipping departments. I've forwarded the ticket. I tapped the thick operations manual on my desk. The procedure is all in here, section 4B. Her eyes widened. But you always... I'm focusing on my core responsibilities now. Company policy. The confusion in her eyes was the first sign I was on the right track. The cracks were becoming canyons. By lunch, a low-grade panic was humming through the office. Phones rang unanswered. I watched Peter from procurement sprint past my cubicle, his hair standing on end. He skidded to a stop at my desk. David, the vendor portal is frozen. The Morrison account is dead in the water. I didn't look up from my spreadsheet. System override requires dual authentication from you and Helen in finance. It's in the manual. That'll take 3 hours and a dozen emails, he cried, desperation creeping into his voice. I finally met his gaze. Then I suggest you get started, Peter. Protocols exist for a reason. He stared at me as if I'd just spoken in tongues. The man who fixed everything was now quoting protocol. The ground was shifting beneath their feet, and they were losing their balance. By Friday, the situation reached a breaking point. I arrived at 9 a.m. to a war zone. Robert was literally wringing his hands outside the main conference room. Brandon, the golden boy, looked like a ghost. And Helen Pierce, the regional VP, was here. Her eyes locked onto me the second I stepped off the elevator. David, conference room, now! Her voice brooked no argument. Inside, the air was thick with dread. Stonewall is giving us until noon, Helen said, her voice tight. Their entire European rollout has failed. They're walking. Explain. Robert stammered. It's a system glitch. It's not a glitch, I interrupted, my voice cutting through the tension. It's a known configuration error. The resolution is documented in section 11 of the manual. It requires a sequence reboot of 3 servers. It takes 3 hours. Brandon frantically flipped pages. I can't find it. Page 187, I said, not looking at him. David, Helen commanded, drop everything and fix this. I checked my watch. I have the federal compliance audit in 1 hour. It's a legal deadline. Miss it, and we lose our operating license. Nationwide. The silence was absolute. You could hear the hum of the server racks down the hall. What are our options? Helen asked, each word measured. Brandon handles Stonewall. I'll oversee the audit. Or I handle Stonewall, and we accept the regulatory penalties, fines, and potential shutdown. I leaned forward, my hands flat on the table. In the past, I would have stayed until 2 a.m. to do both. But I promised my daughter I'd be at her championship game tonight. I've already missed too many. Robert's face was purple. This is insubordination. No, Robert, Helen said softly, her eyes never leaving mine. This is a negotiation. David, what do you want? I looked at each of them. The panicked boss, the overwhelmed nephew, the powerful VP who finally saw the crumbling foundation. I want you to read my original job description, I said, and then I want you to tell me what my role truly is, because it seems I've been doing 2 jobs for the price of none. The offer came an hour later in Helen's private office. Director of Logistics, a 40% raise, full autonomy. And Brandon, I asked, will report to you as a junior analyst. He'll earn every step. I accepted, not just for the title or the money, but for the principle. 6 months later, my department runs like a dream. I built a team, not a dependency. Brandon, to his credit, became one of my hardest workers. Robert was moved to a role that suited his big picture strengths. Last night, I helped Chloe with her algebra. She didn't ask why I was home early. She expects it now. The lesson wasn't about revenge. It was about respect. If you're killing yourself for a company that doesn't see your value, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop. Let them feel the weight of your absence. Let your worth become impossible to ignore.